because I couldn't go back home to my dad. My dad wanted me back home without the child. So he wanted me back to him. I was still his little girl, you know. Wanted me back without the child, come home, start again. And I'd say, Dad, I want to come home, but I can't leave my child. So I had to choose to just struggle, really, so that I could just bring up my children.
Welcome to episode number 72 of the 100 Successful Women, a Conversation to Inspire series. First of all, I'd like to wish all of you who are celebrating the Year of a Snake a very happy Chinese New Year. May this year bring you prosperity, joy, and success. Today's episode was recorded before Christmas, and I'm thrilled to share with you my conversation with the beautiful Phati Mnguni. Phati is an award-winning artist, transformational speaker, and coach whose journey from Zimbabwe to global recognition is truly inspiring. She combines arts therapy with personal development to help others to heal and transform their life through her P.H.A.T.I Brand Signature system. Despite facing significant challenges early in life, including homelessness at 18 and being a single mom in a new country, Phati turned her adversities into stepping stones for success. Her story is a powerful reminder that with vision, resilience, and faith, we can transform our challenges into opportunities to help others. Let's all dive in this inspiring conversation with Phati coming up next. Hello, Phati. How are you doing today?
Hello, Vivienne. I'm very well. Thank you. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you. Happy holiday to you. It's the Christmas season. While we are, when we're doing this recording, it's Christmas in 2 days' time. How's your preparation for the holiday season, Phati?
I'm all ready, actually, Vivienne. I'm all ready, thank you. Yeah.
Well done. I can't wait to spend time with the family. It's a time of the season of the time where we get to spend some time with our family. And I'm so grateful that Phati actually take her time out and spend some time with us today. So Phati, I know that you are a mom for sure. You are an artist, you are a speaker, and you are a confident creative coach. You play different roles in your life, and then you do many things in your life as well. So despite all these roles that you are playing, Phati, first question that I would like to ask is that who is Phati Mnguni at your core?
Phati Mnguni at my core. Wow. I am from Zimbabwe, so African by background. And I live in the UK right now. I've lived here since 1998. So I am a mother of 2 and a grandma of 4. Grandma of 4, yeah. So, and at core, I've been told I'm quite a caring person. I'm really committed to creating a difference in other people's lives as well as my own life as well. I'm passionate really about story impact.
Yeah, caring and then impacting on others' life. I love that. Definitely Phati has been doing that all this while. We're going to hear a lot more about what Phati is doing and her story during our conversation coming up. So Phati, do you want to share with us a little bit about confident creative coach? What does that actually mean?
Confident creative coach actually means I devised that out of the fact that I myself am an artist first and foremost, but because of life happening, I had to really juggle a lot of things as a single mother, bringing up 2 children on my own because I had my children quite young. So I found that I got really tied up in juggling a lot of things, and it's very easy to end up, losing your direction and losing your confidence as a result of life experience as well in between, because it wasn't about being a single mom. It was more about facing the rejection that I faced when I dropped out of school at the age of 18 and was kicked out of home pregnant with my son, and then found myself living with my then children's my children's father, basically, the man who became my children's father, and living with his mother who didn't accept me because I'm Black. So all of that, what that came with was feelings of feeling rejected. And within that, you start feeling that your confidence is being eroded. From a confident young girl that I was, someone who used to perform on stage, dance and entertain, I kind of like lost my confidence and cowered in a way. So the Confident Creative Coach came about as a result of me juggling everything and fighting against, not being able to achieve my vision, because I had that vision to be an artist, and I just told myself I would not let that go. I'd make sure that I make it with my children. So that's where the Confident Creative Coach came about. And then amongst the vision to be an artist, I developed skills like speaking and coaching. So the Confident Creative Coach becomes creative in their creativity. So I found that as a single mom, I couldn't focus on selling a painting every day. So I had to think of other ways that I was going to leverage my skills. So that's where the Confident Creative Coach comes from. An amalgamation of art, speaking, and coaching.
So you started as an artist and then become a confident creative coach. So before we go further on the confident creative coach side of your journey, when you started your artist journey, because that's when you started out as an artist since really young age. So can you share with us what or who was the one inspired you to become an artist at the beginning?
At the beginning, I used to always draw from a very young age, and I didn't know it was art that I was doing until I went to secondary school, and I had to choose between home economics and food tech and art. And because I didn't like cooking and sewing, I was brought up by my dad. So I really didn't do any housework at home, to be honest. We had like home help to help us in the house. So I didn't do any housework, and I was just not good at that at all. So I chose art because I didn't want to be cooking and sewing. And and I remember the one day I was given homework by my art teacher to draw a shoe. You had to draw your own shoe. And I didn't do the homework. So the next morning I came in class and I drew this tiny little shoe. We used to go to the front and get our work marked by the teacher. She looked at my work and she knew I just done that like in class. So I got punished, me and my best friend, Helen, at the time. We had to come back on a Thursday and draw each other's portraits. So we drew each other's portraits, and my art teacher took my work and she looked at it. And then she looked at me and she said, "Why are you wasting this talent?" So that's the person who inspired me, my art teacher at high school, Miss Howe. And I carry her with me all the time. She is a part of me all the time. She probably has no idea right now, but she's a big part of me. That's why even I'm a strong believer that teachers have no idea how much impact they can have on young people's lives at school. They can either make or break children. And my art teacher, I'd like to think, made me. Even when I left school, she used to always follow and see what I was doing. And in class, sometimes there's some of my works that she asked to actually keep.
Wow, she's such an amazing teacher, right? And for her to remind not to waste your talent. I strongly agree with you that teachers can either build a child or the other way. It's so important for teachers to give the word of encouragement rather than condemn what they were doing. And your teacher has been helping you and become your first inspiration to start your journey to becoming an artist. So that was like when you were in secondary school or high school, you started your art journey. But you did mention earlier about leaving school at the age of 18. So how was that impact you for your art journey? How was your relationship, especially with art, during that difficult time?
Yes, now it's really interesting because I said to you, I dropped out at 18. Basically, I was in love with my children's father, the man who became my children's father. My dad had been trying to split us up for 4 years, and it just wasn't working, and he sent me away to boarding school. And at boarding school they didn't have art. Again, I was faced with doing home economics and cooking, which I didn't like. And I then asked the teachers if I could please just do my own art lessons while others were doing home economics and cooking. And so this was put to the head mistress, who granted it because they'd seen my report from my previous school. Because when I left the school, I actually was junior artist, so I got an award for junior artist award. So that report went with me to boarding school. So when I requested to have my own classes, they allowed me to do that. So I used to set up my own still lifes, and draw from found objects and all that. Then when I dropped out of school, it was actually the one thing that carried me through. Art was my go-to thing, So it didn't impact my art, apart from the fact that I wasn't at school. And also I was really living under a very hostile, toxic environment, because it was just not pleasant at all. I was being called all sorts of names under the sun for Black people. I was called Kafa, nigger. I don't know if you know what the word Kafa means. Kafa is basically another word that means nigger in South Africa. It's mainly used in South Africa, but they use it in Zimbabwe as well. So she'd call me all those names, and so my confidence became chipped away. But art was really one thing that I focused on carrying on with. I didn't give that up. As well as my education, I had to sign up to go and study in evening, to get my GCSEs, because when I dropped out, it was during my GCSE years. So I had to go and do my GCSEs in a college, because I couldn't continue in a school with other young people like me. You couldn't continue in a class being pregnant, basically. And also I found myself crying a lot at home, and the one place I would go to was an art gallery to go and cry. I don't even know why, it just happened that way. Yeah, but I just continued with my art, and it's what sustained me as well. When I eventually then left this relationship and took my children and went to live somewhere else, because I couldn't go back home to my dad. My dad wanted me back home without the child. So he wanted me back to him. I was still his little girl, He wanted me back without the child, come home, start again. And I'd say, Dad, I want to come home, but I can't leave my child. So I had to choose to just struggle, really, so that I could just bring up my children and manage through. So even though I've been through quite a lot, I have to say, for some reason, I always seem to have art by my side. It's the one thing, apart from my children, apart from my relationship with God, because I'm Christian, art is also the other thing that's been very consistent in my life, no matter where I went.
So how was the timeline when you were you say you left the school at the age of 18 and you were pregnant with your child? How was that time look for you? Because obviously you have to look after the kids as well. Was there someone that during that time that offered help for you?
First, it wasn't hard in the sense that me and my children's father, we were so inseparable. We were really so in love, but both our parents they just didn't get on. Both parents were against the relationship. My father didn't want him, his mother didn't want me. Some of his family members, they felt they were superior to Black people, so I was like a disgrace really in the family, to bring a Black person, even though their own grandma was Black. But when I left, it wasn't easy, because I had to fend for myself. I mean, he stopped helping to support the kids when I left him. I'm not sure why that was, whether that was punishment for leaving him, but I just couldn't continue in that toxic environment, because it was really affecting me quite a lot. So I then rented a cottage to live with my children. It was just a room with a room that I divided into a little kitchen with those bar counters. So I bought one of those bar counters and created a little kitchenette in the corner, and it had a shower and a bathroom. And then I got a help, like a maid who helped me look after the children. It was absolutely amazing. So she looked after the kids while I continued in college, because I finished my GCSEs and then I went to college, to art school, because that was what the vision was to go to art school. But in between those times, I used to also go to Scripture Union. So I had good friends at Scripture Union, and then I also used to go and give talks in schools through Scripture Union.
So that was when you were like young, when the kids were still young, and then you were young yourself as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's lots that you've been through, and then it's great that at least you got maid to help you. So how was that? Were you working at the time to get the financial support that you needed?
I was painting batiks. You know batiks?
Yes.
Yeah. But with my batiks, I use flour. So I used to paint these flower batiks that I was taught by a lady that was at the art gallery, actually. Mary Davis is her name. I really always remember her as well. Mary Davis used to run classes for, I think it was really for women who came from, I don't know, less fortunate backgrounds. But because I used to like to go, it wasn't that I came from a less fortunate background, because I'm grateful enough that I came from a comfortable home, and also I was pretty comfortable with my children's dad. But because this was running a gallery, so I used to spend a lot of time there. So I got to know Mary Davis, and I learned to do this art form, painting flower batik. So I used to do that, and my friends would buy those. And that's how I used to sustain myself and the children, pay my rent while I was still studying at art school as well. And then when I finished at art school, I worked as a supervisor in an art department in Zimbabwe. So I got a job straight away before I even finished my training in textile design, because I went and we had what you call in-field training, where you go and practice your art form in a company that does what you do. So while I was there, I was very fortunate enough that the man who was actually a supervisor in the art department, he was moving to another job. So the company employed me already before I finished art school. And I had to say, yeah, I'll take the job, but I have to finish my studies first. So I started working at an art department as a supervisor a day after my art exam.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You got these job opportunities waiting for you already prior to finish college. That's something that you're grateful for, like you say.
Yes.
And another thing that you mentioned about people calling you different names, you were like living in that toxic environment, especially experiencing physical, or it's not so much physical, maybe verbally abuse from the family members. So what at the time gave you the strength that kept you from keep chasing your dreams, and then to help you to move forward?
It was the vision I had. My vision was very strong. I knew I wanted to be an artist. And because I was really one of those young people, like I said, was quite confident and used to perform in front of the class, all that fell down. But I had to focus on what was very important, keep up the vision to be an artist and actually achieve my education and love and bring up my children. So that's what kept me going, the vision that I had.
How old were you at the time, Phati, when you were in that situation?
I was 18.
Wow.
Between the age of 18, I was there for 5 years, up to 23. Age 23, I was in that situation. Now, I left after 5 years, and I just,
So when did you move to England?
I moved to England when I was 27.
Okay, so because there are better opportunity for you there?
Well, the situation wasn't great in my country at the time.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was why really. And I made the decision to come, yes.
And then was that a decision that you made by yourself with the kids, or is there anyone else went with you or moved with you at the time?
No, the kids were still young, and so it's a decision I made. I was in a relationship, and I came to England, and then he followed me, but the relationship didn't work, so sadly. But yeah.
That's very courageous for you to move from a familiar country to a totally new environment. So what are some of the challenges that you faced during that time for you to first move to a new country for you, Phati?
I have to also share this one. So when I decided to leave, I actually had this exhibition in Zimbabwe, which was really it was a very successful exhibition and was featured in the media as well. So, and that was how I actually raised my money to come to England. And yeah, moving to a new country had its own challenges. I moved here and I had to start all over again in a very different, unfamiliar way, because all I'd really ever known was art and then work in an art department in Zimbabwe as a surface textile designer, as well as designing labels. That's what I did. So coming to the UK was totally new for me, in the sense that, I mean, it wasn't a culture shock, because Zimbabwe is actually a British colony.
Okay.
So it helped in the sense that, you know, it wasn't a culture shock. The only shock was obviously the cold, which I was prepared for because I expected it. And then just starting all over again, it was quite really tough times, to be honest, when I first of all moved here. My best time was probably, I don't know whether was it 2 weeks or something like that, where I lived with my friend whom used to live with me whenever she came to Zimbabwe. So I lived with her and her parents, and when I got here, I had presents under the tree for me as well and all of that. So that was lovely. It was a snowy Christmas as well. So yeah.
Wow, so basically it will be around the same time this time that you moved to UK.
Oh yeah, it was actually. It was on I think it was the 24th. I'm pretty sure of that. No, 28th, just 28th. My children came on the 24th. I came on the 28th. So, yeah, so I had to start again and then start learning to do jobs that I'd never really done. That was the challenge, I think. And then I continued with the art. I never gave that up. So I had my first exhibition in Aberdeen in 1998. Was it 98? 99, sorry, 1990. I came here in 98. So my first exhibition was in Aberdeen, which is in Scotland, in 1999. So I continued with the art. Then I worked in care home. And then sometimes I was fortunate enough that if the manager found out I was an artist, they would let me do some art with some of the elderly people. There was one particular one who had a stroke, and I used to paint with him, which was really great. But I also remember that my friends reminded me that sometimes, you know, we're supposed to be, you know, helping, you know, the elderly get washed dressed. So I'd get them washed dressed and now take my pad and start drawing them. And they'd walk in, find me drawing them.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of experience that you've been through, a lot of different experiences that you have. And basically, the journey wasn't that easy, but you are quite grateful. I mean, it's blessed that you got your friends and you got all these elderly people that can give you the opportunities as well.
Yes, definitely.
That's quite, I think it's such a great opportunities for yourself, and you got a lot of people that is quite helpful to you during this journey as well?
Yes. I basically just didn't believe in, I didn't have any limitations. I'm not sure where that came from, because I also remember in primary school when I used to walk to school. My primary school was 30 minutes from my home. And sometimes I'd walk through, it was kind of like a forest that you walked through to go to school. And on my way, I'd pretend that I was being interviewed.
How did you
So,
do that?
well, I'd talk to myself because I used to break dance and perform in front of people at school, and I used to rap as well. So I'd pretend that I was being interviewed and being asked also, how old were you when you started rapping and all that. Honestly, I just really pretend I was on television. And now when I look back on reflection, and I've learned all about, visualization, all of this personal development stuff, I realized, oh my gosh, I was doing that then. You asked me earlier on what kept me going in that toxic situation. I think because my brain already knew how to visualize and how to vision, it just held on to that. Even though it was unconscious competence, that's what they call it. When it just happens without you realizing what's happening. And I'm really grateful for that, because it's almost like I had a revelation without realizing it.
Were you always this, from our conversation, I find that probably you're someone who is towards more positive in your life, and you probably tend to see things in a positive way. And that's why when we are more positive, we keep attracting things that is positive to us as well. Is that something that you've been doing? Because from what you share, the life that you've been through is definitely not easy, but you have that bubbly characteristic, and then you are, even though you have been through challenges, you see things in a positive way. Is that what you have been doing all this while, Phati?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Yeah,
that's a half glass full person.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm a half glass full person.
Glass full person. I love that. Yeah.
And this is why I'm very passionate about stories. I'm passionate about, the meaning that we give to our experiences. Within the experiences that we have, there is some good in it. I mean, with what I went through in the toxic environment, I believe that, I wouldn't change anything I've been through. I wouldn't change anything I've been through, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. That prepared me for the world. I always say, my children's grandma and I, we speak now. So you would never believe that she was so nasty to me like that before. If you saw us together, you'd really laugh, because you wouldn't believe that she was really nasty like that. We get on very well now, So I believe that she prepared me for the world. I believe that I also learned how not to. You see, there's always something you learn from everyone that you meet. I always say you either learn how to or learn how not to. So you get to choose what you're going to learn. There's a saying, some people say, hurt people hurt. I don't believe that. I think it's a choice that hurt people hurt. I think hurt people can learn to love because they know what it's like to be hurt. Why would you want to hurt others when you've been hurt yourself? I just don't quite get that. So I feel we can make a choice. It's all we've always got a choice at our disposal. But I just refuse to allow my experiences to define me.
That's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that such important message that you just shared there, Phati. The choice is always in our own hand. Whatever that we define the situation, whatever that we give meaning to, it's always our choice to determine that. Yeah, thank you so much for that. One other question that I would like to ask is that obviously you raise your children by yourself. And a lot of women out there that struggles thinking that they can't pursue their dreams because raising children. So how did you at the time balance being present for your kids while at the same time building your career in art and also now speaking and coaching?
Well, I just had to basically make it happen. I had to make it happen. And also, like I say, I had supportive friends around me as well.
Friends. Yeah.
And also, I feel that I brought up my children were a part of whatever I did. You know, sometimes when I run an art workshop, my children will be there helping me with that as well. And they've been present at some of my talks as well. And really what that did was, I feel that I brought up very confident children. My children are very ambitious, very confident themselves. They've had their own journeys, which we do, like we all do as humans. But within that, they are very visionary kids as a result.
So they follow your footsteps because they see how you carry yourself, and that's why you are their role model to teach them to become who they are today.
Yeah, let's say so. My daughter is an amazing artist herself. You know, I often say to her, oh my gosh, the way you paint, I might have to hand over my brushes to you.
That's so good,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good that your daughter is following your passion as well, and then you probably is her biggest inspiration as well. Yeah. So I had a look at your website. Can you tell us a little bit about what's P.H.A.T.I Signature System?
Yeah, the P.H.A.T.I Signature System is a system I devised basically to help my clients. It's based on my life experience, and also so I believe in teaching what I've been through. So the P.H.A.T.I Signature System is a system where I help my clients reflect back on their past stories. So I get them to reflect back on their past stories. So they scroll back and they look at their life stories. They pick one that's had the most impact in their lives. And for me, the one that's had the most impact in my life is that experience when I was 18. I feel that through all the other challenges I've had in my life thereafter, which I've had, I'm still able to manage to go through whatever I go through because I draw back that inspiration that I had from that experience when I was 18. If I was meant to be broken, it would have been when I was 18. So I get my clients to scroll back and then look at their past story, then find the one story that's had the most impact in their lives. And then we go through healing with that. And we use art as a therapeutic means. So we transform using art as a therapeutic means, because I believe that within each and every one of us is an artist. We're all an artist. If you look at children have no inhibitions. You know, you give them paper or on the floor or on the wall. My granddaughter started drawing on the wall. Her mom was like, Ruby, no! And I was like, hey! I was there with a camera taking photographs, just celebrating that, you know what, she's being creative. So I get clients to use art as a healing process and to tap into their creativity because it's there. We only get taught that we're not when people start judging us and telling us what we're doing is not art, but I really believe we're all artists within. And then I get my clients to then acknowledge, you know, their gifts, their skills, their expertise after we've done the healing, because normally by then we found our message anyway. So get them to acknowledge that and own their story, own their message, you know, own their identity, whoever they are, whatever they are, wherever they're from. As human beings, I believe we're all the same. We all walk around sometimes thinking we're different, but we're really the same. We all want the same things. We all want to be happy. We all want to be free. We all want to live comfortably and fulfilled. We just define it in different ways. Then get my clients to then take time to realign with their vision and then I get them to then, so take time, realign vision, then they go out there and create impact and income after we've then built their system. So the taking time and realign with their vision is that time where we put together their own signature system. I have my signature system, but I help my clients to create their own signature system. So they can go out there and create impact and also ensure that they know that they are the brand. You are the brand or whatever you do, you represent what you do. You get to create and choose that brand. You get to create and choose how you show up. Now, because of what I went through being put down, being Black, I embraced my identity as a result. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I'm very comfortable in my identity. And people always compliment about how I dress up and all, but that's part of me embracing my identity. Part of me celebrating who I am, what I am. And my hope is that others will embrace their own identities, celebrate who they are and what they are as well. Because together we all make an interesting tapestry of the world, don't we? Imagine if we're all the same. It'd be such a boring world, really.
Yeah, so true.
So that's the P.H.A.T system.
I love that P.H.A.T system.
Yes, and also what it does is because of my love for art speaking and coaching, my clients are able to actually, if they are artists, they are then able as well to use their voice to speak. Because as artists, we don't have to always just express through painting. We can be vocal as well. And I am really an advocate for artists speaking out and sharing their stories, creating paintings that are inspired by their stories, that message within their stories. I get them they can create their own signature systems based on the message in their story, or they can create their own signature talks based on their message within their story, or create their own signature coaching systems based on the message in their story.
So who do you help, Phati, with your coaching system?
I feel that I help coaches, speakers, and artists. Well, artists, speakers, and coaches. They say you are your own first client. As an artist, speaker, and a coach, that's who I help.
Okay, so
some speakers, yes.
So there are speakers or coach or an artist that can come to you for help. Yeah, I love that your P.H.A.T signature systems actually cater your clients from a very beginning where they need to be healed to then create a signature system that allow them to thrive with their career and so on as well. Yeah, that's such a great system that you have there, Phati. So where can people find you online to maybe get in contact with you, to maybe learn more about your P.H.A.T signature system and learn more about what you're doing?
They can get in touch with me at visioningcoachingacademy.com.
Okay.
Visioningcoachingacademy.com, yes. I'm also found under PhatiMnguni.com.
Oh, so that's website.
Yes, that's website, and I'm also on Facebook as Phati Mnguni, P.H.A.T.I. The H is silent. I have to always tell people that the H is silent, otherwise you can imagine what I get called.
All right, yeah, I will include that link to your website and also to social media in the description. So whoever wanted to reach out to Phati, make sure you click on that link and you should be able to reach Phati on those links. And yeah, I really appreciate what you share with us, Phati, on your journey, especially from those challenging moments to become an artist yourself and then a speaker and as well as a coach to help others who've been through the same journey like you are, so that they can be more confident and to have a life that they desire. So this is 100 Successful Women podcast. So if you have to give one piece of advice to other women out there, what will that be?
If I had to give one piece of advice, it would be have a vision, never ever let anyone tell you you can't be or do what you want to do. Because I used to get told, what's art going to do for her anyway? But I persevered and I blocked my ears to all of that negative talk. So my one piece of advice is just have a vision or get help to clarify what their vision is, because I know some people struggle finding what their vision is, but we all have it. I believe that we all have a vision. And then go after it, or get a coach that's going to help you to then map out the steps to achieve the vision. It doesn't matter where you are, start wherever you are. And if life has happened and you found that you've fallen behind somehow, you can always start again. It's never too late. It's never too late. Yes.
I love that. It's never too late, and start at where you are. And such a great reminder for us all, Phati. And I love that you are actually saying that we all have a vision, but sometimes we just forget about it. But then if you are someone who unsure what your vision are, maybe get in touch with Phati. She definitely can help you to use her artist strength to maybe pen out your vision for you. Thank you so much for your time with us, Phati. So I know that we are well aware of the time, but before we wrap up today's conversation, Phati, is there anything that you would like me to ask that I haven't asked yet?
I think you've asked everything really, Vivienne. I am on LinkedIn as well, by the way, as Phati Mnguni, so I forgot to say that.
Yeah, I will include that in the description as well for all the social media that you can send to me. I'll add that in the description and in the video as well. So reach out to Phati if you want to learn more about maybe to becoming an artist or to find out about your vision. I believe that she can definitely help you with that. So anything else before we wrap up today's session, Phati?
Well, I'd like to really thank you so much, Vivienne, for having me on this podcast. It's an absolute honor. It's an absolute honor. Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you so much, Phati, for your wisdom and your time to join us, especially during this busy time of the year. And definitely, we would love to have you again next time to share with us more about your journey and to hear more about what you have in the future as well. Thank you so much, Phati.
Thank you, Vivienne.
Thank you, and I'll see you next time.